Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Overwatch. But today we're not going to be playing any comp matches, any arcade matches, nothing like that. Today we're going to take a look at the new and improved Summer Games seasonal event, this time circa 2K17. And there's a lot to do. We got our free loot box just for signing in because of the update, which we will open at the end of the episode. But first, let's go over some of the new shit that has been added and talk a little bit about the Summer Games altogether. So first of all, the first thing I instantly noticed with Summer Games is we get a player icon of the Summer Games 2K17, which is nice. We won't go through and look for the rest of the player icons, nor will we look at sprays, but we will look at the skins from last year that are making their return, meaning you'll be able to get any skins that you didn't get during last year's Summer Games during this year's Summer Games. And we'll take a look at the new ones. So let's start with Onna, who is first in the list. So obviously we'd have to start with her. And so Onna has been left out of Summer Games in terms of skins. She was left out last year because she wasn't in the game yet. But she has also this year. In terms of emotes, she does have one, which is the beach ball. That's low-key kind of pathetic. I feel like that should have flown higher. Oh, so every time you hit the beach ball, there's basically an interaction. Well, never mind. She hits it over there, and then the second one would bounce off of that. Yeah, okay. So, I kind of see it. Alright, so then victory poses. She doesn't have any victory poses, which is okay. That's fine. Voice lines. Here we go. So she's got learn from the pain.
This is much better than retirement.
And better than retirement. I mean, sure, there's something. Now the question is, does she have a highlight intro? She does not. So, there we go. That's Onna. Next is Bastian. Bastian, I don't believe, had a Summer Game skin last year. He does not this year either. He does, however, have the emote of boxing from last year. So, obviously, boxing will be available once again this year. Victory poses, medal. Now, if I remember correctly, he didn't have a medal pose last year, so this is brand new this year. In terms of voice line, well, he had this last year, the woo voo wee, in case you don't have it. Obviously, I do, but if you don't, then that's his new one. And then the other one, do-do-do-dee. Nice. And finally, highlight intros. He doesn't have any. Kind of disappointing that Bastian was kind of massively left out. Next is Deva-kun. Hi, waifu. How you doing? So her skin last year was the Tengeki skin, which I failed to get, as you guys know. I very much so expressed my anger. Hopefully this year Sherman can pull off the Tengeki skin. And it doesn't appear as if she has any new ones this year, which is nice, because that means less probability of another skin getting in the way of Tengeki. In terms of emotes, she does not have any this year once again. Her victory poses, also none. If we take a look at voice lines, she does have it. She has scoreboard, and I'm number one. I believe she didn't have any voice lines last year, so these are both new. I could be wrong. Feel free to correct me. And finally, highlight intro. She doesn't have any special ones as it alludes to Summer Games. Next is Doomfist. Now, before we get into Doomfist, I want to say I would be shocked if Doomfist really had anything relating to Summer Games as new as he is. That being said, it also wouldn't surprise me either if he didn't have anything, because that kind of is what happens. So in terms of skins, no Summer Game skins. In terms of emotes, no Summer Game emotes. Victory poses, none there either. Voice lines.
So mean I make medicine sick. So mean I make medicine sick.
There's I make medicine sick. And finally,
I'm going to make you punch drunk.
Alright, so he gets those two voice lines, and I'd be surprised, yeah, so all he got was two voice lines, which I'm actually surprised he even got that, let's be honest. Genji is next. Last year we had the Nihon skin, which is basically him representing Japan. And I believe, yep, I'm not surprised that he does not have any skins in this update. In terms of emotes, he has none. Victory poses, none. Voice lines.
I was hoping for a challenge.
Yep, hoping for a challenge in Touche. Once again, don't know if they were part of last year's loot boxes or this year's, but still, you can look forward to getting those in the loot boxes that I'm sure you guys have grinded out over time during this event. Please excuse me for my burps. Hanzo is next with skins. He has none. Emotes, he has none. Victory poses, he does get the medal, which I believe is this year. I don't believe he had medal last year. Voice lines.
Already dead. Ignore all distractions. Defeat is a first step to a better result.
Yep, he gets 2 voice lines, and I do believe that last year he didn't have any voice lines. So these are new to this year's summer games. Highlight intros, he's got target practice. Very nice, Hanzo. A very good-looking highlight intro, which is also new to this year and this year's summer games. Junkrat did get a games skin this year, as opposed to last year when he actually didn't. Obviously, representing his home country of Australia. Very neat, very neat. Then we have emotes, which he has none of. Victory poses, which he does have one. Victory medal, which I'm pretty sure this is new to this year. Voice lines.
I give it a 3. I give it a 10.
A 3 and a 10. And finally, yep. So, Shot Put was last year's highlight intro, but it's still just as good as ever. So next we have Lucio, and actually, let me check something real quick. Good. Just wanted to make sure. In terms of skins for the good old Luce, last year he got the Selenko skin, which is basically just a soccer skin. And he also had Striker last year. This year, though, he doesn't appear to have any. So that's kind of interesting. With the return of Lucio Ball, I would have figured he would have got some new skins. Juggle was last year's skin, so you can also look forward to getting those in this year's loot boxes. No victory poses, unfortunately.
Suboptimal. Be champion.
The always positive Lucio, of course, has 2 voice lines, I believe, that are new to this year's Summer Games loot boxes, and obviously the bicycle kick, which was last year's highlight intro. Next, moving on, we have McCree, who has an American skin from last year, and it doesn't look like they gave him another one this year. Actually, I take that back. McCree has the lifeguard skin. I dig it. I dig it. I'd totally equip this if I had it. It's a lot better than... Anyway, enough throwing punches. No emotes for McCree. As for victory poses, a lot of the same. Voice lines, I'd be surprised. Actually, he does. I believe those are both new to this year. And then, in terms of highlight intros, he doesn't have any. So next is May, who is Bae, and for skins, let me first just say, May always seems to get the best skins for seasonal events. I mean, the Chinese New Year, she had an amazing set of skins. Christmas, she got the Christmas skin. Always ceases to amaze me how well they do with May, and unfortunately, they actually didn't give her a skin for Summer Games. Weird. Emotes. May didn't get any emotes either for Summer Games. Victory poses, the medal she had last year. So this is not new either, but you can get it in the loot boxes this year. I'm still very disappointed they changed it from you have to let it snow to you have to let it go to you have to let it snow. I'm still bothered by that, but we won't talk about that. That's for another video. Overcome all obstacles and I tried my best are her voice lines for Summer Games. I think those are new to this year. And no highlight intros. Amazingly, a lack of love for May this year. But that doesn't surprise me. Moving on to Mercy. And we all know. Last year, Mercy had the skin representing her country of Switzerland. And this year, as we all know, she got Winged Victory. Yep. This skin was leaked like a day or two, maybe even hours before Summer Games went live. Prior to that, there was no leaks on skins. You were so close, Blizzard, yet so far. This is a good-looking Mercy skin. How she's got her Greek goddess thing kind of going on. Still not better than Witch, and the Combat Medic I actually don't think is as good as Winged Victory. But still, if you ask Sherman, the best looking or the most fun skin for Mercy is definitely Valkyrie. I really like Valkyrie. But at the same time, Endergrossen is pretty good too. And that is back in the Summer Games loot box. As for emotes, she doesn't have any emotes. I'm noticing kind of a pattern of a lack of emotes for Summer Games. As for a medal, she does have a medal, which is new to this year's Summer Games. Last year, she didn't have a medal emote. For Mercy...
Would you like the sponge or the spread?
Ooh, kinky.
Piece of cake.
Mercy gets 2 voice lines that are also new to this year's Summer Games, I believe. And she doesn't get a highlight intro. Sorry, Mercy, you're special, but not that special. Arisa, who is another character that I'd be surprised if they did a lot with in Summer Games this year, does not have a skin, no emotes, no victory poses. And she did get 2 voice lines, which, I mean, doesn't really say much, and no highlight intros. Next is Farrah, Justice, always reigning from above, as she is also known. She got no love in terms of the skin department. In terms of emotes, no love there either. In the victory poses, she did get a medal. I believe this is new to this year. Voice lines. Everyone gets voice lines, so of course, she got We Are In This Together and Clear Skies, Full Hearts. So, no highlight. Wait, I take that back. Because Farrah is ballin'. That is the best highlight intro I have ever seen in my life. That is great. Anyway, onward to Reaper. Reaper, in terms of skins, well, he did get some love. He got the biker love. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel about this. It doesn't suit him at all. Anyway, emotes, he has none. Victory poses, medal, which is from last year, but once again, all of last year's item is available this year. Voice lines.
It's in the refrigerator.
Good. And Just Win. Now, it's in the refrigerator was last year's. I don't know if Just Win was also there or if that's this year. And no highlight intros. So, again, continuing that theme of a lack of highlight intros. Besides, I think Farrah is the only one I can think of that actually had a Summer Games highlight intro. Reinhardt didn't get a skin, which actually doesn't surprise me. Not a lot of love for Reinhardt in these seasonal events. No victory poses, no emotes. Some would even say 101% German power. That is from last year, of course, and I believe Glittering Prizes is from this year. So actually, come to think about it, now that I've actually taken a moment to think about it, I think there was only one voice line for every character last year, and this year would make a second one. Anyway, continuing on, no highlight intros for poor old Reinhardt. On to Roadhog, who always seems to get a skin for an event. Actually didn't get one this time. Wow. No emotes. He did get a victory pose, which is a medal, but I do believe medal is from last year. Wow. Coming from you, that sounds very redundant. And there you go. There's your 2 voice lines for Roadhog in this year's Summer Games, and no highlight intros as well, as to be expected. Soldier 76, well, I mean, we can already go ahead and talk about Soldier 76's skin. The Grill Master 76. Look at him. Raise the stakes. I see what you did there, you clever, clever man. In his dad sandals and dad shorts and dad Hawaiian shirt. Who wouldn't want this skin? I mean, just look at his gun. Assault rifle. I see what you did there, Blizzard. You're clever. You're very clever. I mean, this is a skin that I really feel like is probably right now the best skin from Summer Games, both last year and this year. Anyway, moving on. Emotes, he has 0 of, but a victory pose. He does have Golf Swing, which is from last year. His voice lines include Brump, bring the noise, and bring the ruckus.
You want a medal?
And you want a medal. Kind of would have wished that would have been you want a cookie, because that actually would have been funnier, but there you go. No highlight intros for the good old Soj. Moving on to Sombra, who I believe did get a skin. I do believe I did see that out there. Yep, there it is. Tulum. So she's a diver. I like it. It's cool. This is actually probably one of the best looking Sombra skins that she has. I mean, the only other one I would say can even compete is Cyberspace, or perhaps the Los Muertos. Moving on, though. Emotes, she has none of. Unsurprisingly. Surprisingly, though, she did get a medal victory pose. Interesting. Interesting. Voice lines. She wasn't in the game last year, so she got 2 from this year. She got What's Up and Try and Keep Up. And finally, for highlight intros, obviously she didn't get a highlight intro, but I mean, there's nothing better than hacking. I mean, how could you beat hacking? Continuing on, we've got good old Symetra, the woman that barely anyone plays. Psych! People play her quite a bit. She didn't get a skin in terms of emotes. She got Ribbon last year. Alright, Symetra, you don't have to be so extra. Victory poses, she got medal, which I believe is new to this year. Congratulations on winning your medal, by the way, Symetra. Voice lines includes hard work and dedication, and the other one of victory is everything. And finally, in terms of highlight intros, she didn't get one. I mean, it's the luck of the draw, I guess. Moving on to Torbjorn, I mean, look at that beautiful Santa skin. Could you do any better? There's Tree Kranor from last year, where he represents Sweden. I see you, Sweden. Greatest country on earth. And he didn't get another skin. It's kind of fair, to be fair. Emotes, he didn't get any victory poses. Has his medal from last year. In terms of voice lines, I mean, technically there is, but
There's more where that came from.
so there are your 2 voice lines. And finally, for the highlight intro, well, he didn't get one. Next, we have the face that runs the place, Tracer. Tracer, if Tracer didn't get a new skin for this year's Summer Games, I will thoroughly be shocked, as in I might have a heart attack. So last year she got track and field, and I believe she got another skin called Sprinter. Yes, she did. As you can see, she got 2 skins last year, and the fact that she didn't get one this year... The world could always use more heroes. Didn't get a skin this year. Damn. Anyway, moving on to emotes, she obviously has none. There's very few, if any, emotes from Summer Games. She got a medal victory pose this year, which I remember being surprised from last year's Summer Games that she didn't get a medal emote, but I guess they rectified it. Best voice line in the game, keep calm and trace her on, but that's not a Summer Games voice line. Time out and eat my dust are, though, so you can look forward to finding them in Summer Games loot boxes. And last year she got the Hurdle highlight intro, which is not new to this year, but you can get it in those Summer Games loot boxes. Widowmaker, how are you, my dear? So last year she got representing France with her Tricolore skin, but this year she also got another skin, Côte d'Azur. Look at that. Only you could pull that off, Widow. Only you. Might be Widow's best skin, to be honest. No emotes. She did get this medal victory pose, but that was last year, not this year.
I don't miss.
And
A perfect 10.
perfect 10, that's what you are, Widow. Well, give you more of an 8, because you could have, well, 7 actually, because you could have 3 more improvements. But moving on, we won't talk about that. There you go. That's Widow's voice lines for Summer Games. And finally, highlight intros. Well, she didn't get one, but how can you beat this? One bad mamma jamma. Moving on to Winstone. Hello, Harambe. How are you? No skins for Winstone, which surprises me, actually. No emotes for the poor old Winst. He did get a victory pose, which is metal, but that was last year, not this year.
We have a problem. Playtime's over.
Which is playtime's over, and...
It's on.
Yeah, that's right. It's on. And unfortunately, no highlight intros. Has anyone else noticed kind of a theme here where no one is getting highlight intros? I'm just playing. Everybody got a highlight intro. Psych. Zarya. If Zarya got a new skin this year, I'd be surprised, considering she had like 2 or 3 last year. Yeah, she had 2. So she had the champion skin and the weightlifter skin. In my opinion, the champion one's better, but you know, it is what it is. And so I'm not surprised she didn't get another skin this year. In terms of emotes, well, she didn't get one, so we don't even have to talk about that. Same with victory poses. In terms of voice lines,
No game. It's only a game. Why do you have to be mad?
best voice line in all of Overwatch. It's only a game. Why you have to be mad? But yes, there's the 2 voice lines for Zarya. And finally, she didn't get a highlight intro. Why do I keep checking the highlight intro tab? I don't know. And finally, Zenyatta. Did he get a skin? The answer to that question is a resounding no. Did he get an emote? No. What about a victory pose? He's got medals from last year. Voice lines? Well, let's just say he got 2.
Always strive for improvement. Form is temporary.
Of course you'd say something so philosophical. And finally, highlight intros. Well, as we all could have guessed, no highlight intros for Zenyatta. So, with that said, that's basically the review of Summer Games. But wait, there's one more thing. Lucio Ball makes its return. And I think Comp Lucio Ball is also a thing. I think that's what this is. Let's find out. Okay. Score more goals than the other team at the end of the game, or 10 more goals at any time. Rise up the ranks and compete with the best. So yeah, it's basically comp, but for Lucio Ball. So yeah, Lucio Ball returns as well with the Summer Games loot boxes. So now that it's all said and done, let us open our first Summer Games loot box and see what we get. But before we do this, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. Thank you all for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Next week we'll be back with some more Overwatch, hopefully comp if that's possible. I don't know if they actually ended comp season or not, but if they haven't, then hopefully comp. If not, then if they have ended the season, then we'll probably come back with arcade. Also, the other important note we need to get out of the way, be sure to go check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Rygar381. That's twitch.tv/RYGAR381. I am streaming every day for a year straight, like 365 days, at least 3 hours a day, from August 8th, 2K17 to August 8th, 2K18, in an effort to help get enough attention to be able to get my Twitch partnership next year. So without further ado, enough waiting. Let's see what we got. Garbage. Absolutely garbage. That's what we got. We got a spray for Zarya, a voice line for Roadhog.
What's mine is mine.
We'll go ahead and equip that over the piece of cake. Player icon, Law, a Deva badge. I'll actually equip that. And a Reaper spray. Wow, that was so underwhelming. Anyway, without further ado, I have been the Purple Sherman. This has been Tracer, Zarya, and Lucio. This has been Overwatch. I will see you all next time.